ready to make poor man burn ends. They're delicious and cheap. All right, the first thing we want to do to get started on our chuck roast here is honestly start prepping it and slicing up into cubes. Remember, these poor man burnt ends are just a cheaper version of a brisket. I actually caught this chuck roast on sale, marked down. I give $12 and I think 63 cents for it. And to me, that's a pretty good price for a marbled up chuck roast like that. So not gonna have to trim a whole lot of fat off of it, but I'm just gonna start breaking down the muscles here, because that's a beautiful chuck eye steak right there. That's what caught my attention, for sure. I'm gonna tell y'all, that right there, I hate to even grill that up as far as poor man burn ends. I could trim that up. That right there would be as tender as a ribeye right there. You find these in your store, be sure to get them. You can trim a little bit of this hard fat off right here, but that eye right there and all that, that makes a beautiful steak when you're just wanting a cheaper steak. If I trim that down, that would almost look like a New York strip, wouldn't it? These chuck eye roasts can really, really surprise you sometimes. I'm gonna cut these a little bit smaller than I normally would. Look at that. Sometimes people call those boneless short ribs in the store when they cut them. The butcher can really fool you if you don't know what you're looking for. Now I'm probably deconstructing this roast a lot less than y'all would. I'm gonna save some of these messed up pieces just for trimmings. I'm gonna put them in a bag and freeze them, and I can use that later on. Oh, I swear I hate to break into this chuck eye steak. That's got a good piece of hard fat in the middle. I'm gonna throw it in my grind pile too. Yep, that's not a lot either. That's not bad. We got some of these burnt ends right here that we got some of these chuck roast squares that we're gonna turn in to poor man burnt ends. So now that I've got them kind of all in a bowl here, I'm gonna take a little bit of olive oil, kind of get a little bit of a binder on it. You can use mustard, you can use mayonnaise, you can use oil, you can use water, you can do whatever you like. You don't even have to use a binder. Now, I am gonna use some of my beef rub here. If you've got a favorite beef rub you wanna use, be sure to use it. Now, once we've got that pepper pop on those, I'm gonna come back with a little of our Competition rub. You know it's got some sweet and savory flavors in it. Just kind of give it that barbecue flavor. Now, once you get every piece kind of coated, like I have here, I've got my grill fired up. I've still got a dirty hand. I'm gonna make it out to the grill and get these on before I even wash my hands. So let's get out here, get them on, and get them cooking. All right, we've got our Recteq bullseye fired up. We're using some charcoal and hickory blended pellets from Roll Oak Charcoal. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I'm just gonna dump them on and then get out here and spread them out. Now, if you've got a cooling rack to use, please do that. I think that's good. Once we get them on, get them spread out, I'm gonna get this grill lid shut, let that charcoal and the Recteq do its job. And I'm gonna give it, honestly, about an hour, and I'm gonna come back and look at them. These is probably gonna need an hour and a half to 2 hours on the grill smoking to get some good color on them and lock in all that flavor. And then we're gonna wrap them up. We're gonna make a really flavorful, good old broth to go on them to tenderize them and braise them. So let's get that mixed up and get it ready here shortly to wrap them up once they've got that nice caramelization that we're looking for. All right, let's make up a simple route for our poor man burnt ends. So I'm gonna start off, I don't even know how much Worcestershire is left in here of W sauce. It's about a tablespoon and a half is what that is looking at it. Now I'm gonna go in with about a quarter cup, maybe a third of a cup of barbecue sauce. Not a whole lot, you don't want a whole lot. Now I've got some beef broth here. Now I'm just gonna fill that up. And if I had to guess, that's probably a cup or a little over a cup. So I'm just mixing ratios. I'm not going really strong with this. Get this mixed up. I'm just looking for a good savory flavor. Oh yeah, that is good. That's got a good taste to it. Now, I'm gonna grab some butter, cut it up, a few pads, about a half a stick, and throw in here when I do this where the beef can render down properly and braise, and I know it's gonna be good. All right, we've got about a half a stick of butter cut into small pats here. We've got almost 2 cups of liquid mixed up here. Let's get out to our grill, get our burnt ends in the pan here, and get ready to braise them. All right, I've got my pan out here. I've got a dummy, no heat liners on these gloves. Now, I know these are temping out about 160, 170. Let's toss them over here. And my fingers is getting hot already. All right, once I get them all laid in right here, I'm gonna come back and just throw a little bit of that braising liquid in there. And once I get that on there like that, put it in here. I'll go down with that lid on that. Shut that grill lid. I'm gonna set a timer for about 45 minutes and check them. They've had 1 hour cook time so far at 300 degrees. Got a wonderful smoke color on them. The bark was set. Now all we have to do is render them to get them tender. Once that's done, we're gonna pull them out of that liquid, maybe toss them in a little more light sauce, put them back on there, let them tack up. Should have a wonderful taste. We'll be back in about 45 minutes. All right, we've had our poor man burnt ends wrapped for about 45 minutes. I put on some heat gloves this time. Tried not to be foolish. All right, let's pick one up and see what she's got. It's getting tender, but it's just not where I want it to be yet. It's good, but it needs a little more. We're gonna give it about another 20, and we'll check it again. All right, let's get back in here and check these things. They've been total cook time, been about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And now I'm gonna go in here for one of the bigger pieces. Let's grab that out. And that is tender to me. So I honestly think these are done. I'm gonna pull these out and allow them to rest. Take them over here to the side. I'm gonna get them in the house. I'm gonna drain out of that grease. I'm gonna toss them in a little more barbecue sauce and throw them back on the grill to tack up. So let's get inside. I'll kind of show you how I do that after they cool down just a second, and we'll put them back on our bullseye, tack that sauce up. We'll have that poor man burn in. All right, we have our poor man burn ends off the grill here. I've got them out of the grease and the braising liquid. Let's go ahead and take a little bit of our sweet barbecue sauce. I'm not gonna put much. That's probably about 1/3 of a cup, right? Now, these would be fine to eat just like this. That is good. But I'm going back out the grill, gonna let them caramelize up with that barbecue sauce on them and create that perfect poor man's burn in. Can't let them fall through the cracks. Should have put them on a rack. All right, I'm gonna give them about 5 to 10 minutes and we'll get them off. All right, our poor man burnt ends have been on the grill about 5 minutes tacking up. Oh yeah, look at that color. That looks like mini pieces of beef jerky. Now I made these a lot smaller so they cooked in a lot less time frame. If you want to do big old chunks, you're more than welcome, but for me, I like doing it quick. I like small manageable bites where it can be shared more. But if you want to take and cut in big 2x2 cubes, this is going to take you probably double the time. Let's get in here and try these things. These poor man burnt ends look incredible. They need to cool just a second so I don't burn my face off and blister all that skin off the roof of my mouth again. All right, now that our burnt ends are off the grill here, just to recap about them, we took a small chuck roast that we picked up for like $12 and some change, and we cut it down into small bites. We put ours on the Recteq bullseye with some royal oak charcoal hickory fused pellets. We let it run for about an hour first, hour and 10 minutes, had the perfect color. We then turned around and wrapped them up in a braising liquid that we made with a little bit of beef stock, some barbecue sauce, and some good old W sauce. We poured it over it, let them braise for about an hour and 10 minutes. They had a total cook time of about 2 hours and 20 minutes. We then pulled them off, let them rest, pulled them out of that braising liquid and tossed them in a little bit of that sweet sauce, returned them to the grill for about 5 minutes. Brought them out, let them rest, and I can tell y'all, they almost look like miniature bites of beef jerky. But I can tell y'all, that right there is pure flavor. Y'all, You just take that meat right there, it just comes right apart so tender. The flavor explosion in your mouth. I'm really, really digging this combo right here with the pepperiness of the beef rub, a little bit of sweetness and savory from the sauce, and the Competition rub. Really, really liking that flavor. If you like these simple, easy recipes, be sure to find us and follow along on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest, and of course YouTube. I'll see you next week with another video.